All right, we are here at Gen Con 2024, and I have Alex with Legend Story Studios. Alex, this is a pleasant surprise to see Legend Story Studios here at Gen Con. What brought LSS to Gen Con?
Absolutely. Well, it's part of a global initiative, really. I mean, Gen Con's obviously the creme de la creme, the top of the upper echelon events around the world, along with Spiel, UK Games Expo, shows like that. So vitally important that if we're going to roll out a conventions program, we're going to be at Gen Con, right? So we basically reached out to the guys fairly late on in their process, took as much space as they would give us. We wanted, we would have taken more. We you've been here all week. We've been packed out.
It's been packed. Yeah, this is late on Sunday, and the booths. Both you have two now. It's two booths, right? You have one in the gaming hall that we're in, and one in the I guess dealer's room.
Exactly. We got that a little bit last minute. So the way Gen Con's laid out, for those who don't know, is you've got this massive event space here, where it's all generally tournaments, learn to plays, and new player introductions, which is what we're focusing on here. And then over in the expo hall, where generally the shopping goes on, we've got a smaller booth over there where we've got a lot of the intro level items. So First Strike is launching in 3 weeks as we're filming this. We have an early release. It's a perfect product to bring people in, so that's focusing over there.
And I've personally been able to see many people that have just kind of come in. I happened to be playing a board game with the wife over there, and I looked to my right, and there were people playing Flesh and Blood for the first time. So I kind of walked over and I chatted with them, and they got the First Strike decks. They were getting, talking about Azalea. So obviously some of the products that are here are drawing new people into the game, which is a fantastic thing to see.
Absolutely. And First Strike is such a vital product for what we're trying to do here. It bridges that gap between your first impressions with an IRA welcome deck, which really does a fantastic job of taking you through the fundamentals of the game and how it works, but bridges that gap through to Blitz play by having a nice stepping stone into, okay, now you got your equipment, now you got more going on, now you got an actual kind of game going on. And what we've been basically doing here with our Learn to Play is we sit you down, we show you the IRA welcome video, you get some tuition through the IRA decks, and when we feel people are comfortable, we go, right, crack open the First Strike decks. Now we're going to introduce you to another level. When they play with the First Strike decks, once they're comfortable, we give them their lead card, and this kind of area here that you see people behind us is hanging out playing in. It's like, play a few games, get used to it. We want you to really feel like you're comfortable with the game, get a promo for doing that. And what we're really trying to do is when people leave this zone, we want to make sure that they figured out the basics of the game, they feel comfortable with it, and they can then go and take part either at an event in the local store or at home just playing with their friends and around the kitchen table. Like whatever it is that's their next step, we want them to feel comfortable and able to go do that.
I am personally much more of a casual player. I enjoy Commoner, Clash, the unofficial format, UPF, obviously I really like that. And it is intriguing to see kind of the variety. Now, I don't know if we can go into too much detail on this, but I'm going to ask, you did mention First Strike and the lead into Blitz, so does that mean that those product lines are, I guess, here to stay for my understanding? Because as an existing player, I was really kind of trying to understand the position of where First Strike was compared to like the I guess, long boxes where you have the UPF and Blitz decks.
Well, I'm the wrong person to ask about product future things, but what I would say is that the bundle that we did for Part of the Misfail was sold very well, as a product. I imagine that'll be something we continue to look at doing things like that, to be able to kind of say to people, and that's why actually the sales here have shown that. We take people through this journey, and they enjoy the First Strike, they come back and go, what's next? And what we can do is we can lay out those Blitz decks, because Blitz decks still serve that really important stepping stone to learn the different classes. Like, if I want to play a few different classes, feel what I'm comfortable with, what I want to play with, and then I can go and invest further and get the product that supports the hero I want to play. So Blitz decks do a fantastic job of that. And that packaged product to be able to say, hey, take this home. You've got the current one. There's 3 decks in there, so you've got 6 different matchups to play around with. Get to know those styles, and then you can step from there. So it creates this journey for new players to kind of figure out their own way, and we can help steer them through all those stages so they can feel comfortable and actually find the hero they want to play and go out to the wide world of our organized play program.
And so that's a good lead-in, I guess. I was going to ask, so maybe next year or in the future, do you foresee possibly like those higher tier events, callings or things? Could that be a possibility at events like Gen Con, or are they looking at that circuit?
Very interesting question. I mean, Gen Con's an expensive show to come to. People have spent a lot of money before they even walk through the door. It's not a cheap place to come to. And
badges are 100%. Exactly. It's very...
So that would have to be factored into anything we did. We did the Blaze events here. They all sold out. If we had more space, we'd have added more seats, but they gave us this space and we filled it. So we will be able to make those decisions when we talk to Gen Con after this show, right?
Understand.
So we'll look at what we can do for next year, plan it out. What I would say is we're gonna keep coming back. This has been such a fun show to us. these league cards, I had a quick count up I think midway through yesterday, and we'd put something like 400 people through the league. And we're running low on our cards.
Nice.
And I know how many cards we printed. If we run out of cards, then I know we put a lot of people through our league. And if we're bringing that many new people in, then hopefully they come back next year, and if we put on an event, it's there for them. And we want to encourage people. What we don't want to do is gate some of our premium prizes behind things that people are it's inaccessible. This show sells out.
It does. And Gen Con this year for 2024, in case you are unaware, was sold out for all 4 days. So that is a factor, obviously, and I totally understand that. I just was curious because I know that there are a lot of people that don't live in the casual sphere, especially the world champion like Michael Hamilton that's here in Indy, by the way.
Yeah.
You know, when I start looking at individuals like that, they like to travel to those higher tier events, and sometimes if they're correlated with some of these events, they'll show up to them. Now, Origins, is that on your radar, or like maybe you said what other events maybe possibly in the future? If you can,
I can talk about what we're committed to at the moment for the rest of the year. So I'm taking a bit of time after Gen Con was shattered, but so the big shows that we'll be taking the booth to. So we go to anything from like a local convention where stores reached out and were like, hey, we can support you, or even community members like, hey, I'd like to run some demos at my town Comic-Con. We have ways and assets to support them.
Okay.
So we do all of those as well. We do our mid-tier all the way up to the Gen Cons. We obviously wheel the booths out, the big light-up display and everything.
The banners are awesome.
Thank you very much. I'm really happy with how it all came out.
I know you can't see it in this video, but the ceiling stuff, that's if you're anywhere, you just say point to it, and there you go, and you can get here. So
when they said we could have a ceiling ring, I basically went, how big can we go?
Yeah. Put it up there. Can it rotate? Yes.
Well, that's the next one. We'd like to do that.
Oh, that's awesome.
That is actually a thought. We'll be at Gamescom Cologne.
Okay.
So that's in Cologne, obviously, in Germany. Then we'll be over at PAX West in Seattle, PAX West. Then the big one, Tampa Bay, that we've got our world premiere of Rosetta, which is going to be so exciting. So I'll be there, the booth will be there in Tampa. That is the one I'm most excited about right now of all the ones. After that, I hop back over the pond, DK, so we'll have Essen Spiel coming up.
Okay.
PAX Unplugged back over in Philly. Dice Tower West are adding a big TCG zone, and we're going to be involved with some of the organisers there want us to come along, and we're very happy to be involved with that. So that's early next year. And then, the higher tier events. So we'll be at Gen Con next year. We'll be at UK Games X next year. We're at Gamescom Canada this year, which is a new show emerging in Canada. Really, really interesting show. Lots going on. We're almost certainly going to return to that one. And I can't not mention Luca Comics and Games in Italy. Wonderful show, week-long festival, like being a walled city in Italy. If you ever get a chance to go, stunning. We'll be there. And of course, with the World Championships in Osaka coming up. So we're doing a conventions program. Like when I sat down, I joined the company. We want to roll out this convention program. My attitude very much was, if we're going to do it, we're going to do it right. Over there are some competitors. Over there are some competitors. Over there are some competitors. And we want to make sure that we're not just here making up the numbers, right? And to kind of give you a context on that, for PAX East, we didn't have the booth ready, and we were like, well, we're going to go with some pull-up banners, and that's it. That doesn't feel right. So we worked with some partners and did something there, and then now PAX West, PAX Unplugged will turn up, and we're going to turn up proper, right? So
awesome.
It's very important to us to look right, and we've been the busier booth here.
First impressions are very important, and I think you guys really nailed it this year with what I'm seeing. I mean, especially walking around, I've seen LSS hats. The swag that you were selling. I had to consume some of that because I was very happy to see that existed.
The Stanley Cups went early on Friday, I think.
I managed to get one of those, I was very happy to. Those used to be very exclusive from what or maybe that's not the exact same one.
Well, we did a silver one for LA, and this was just a small run of some black ones to see how they went on, and they just flew off the shelf. So, I mean, I'm not in charge of merchandising, but I'm pretty sure we'll see some other things coming down the line.
So merchandising folk, shirts, right? I could definitely use some cool shirts. I'm sure everybody would love to purchase that. Other than that, maybe any final closing thoughts or comments about just maybe, I'll see you next year if you're here at Gen Con, for sure. If I can make some of the other events, I definitely will, but obviously this looks like a heck of a first impression.
I guess my thing is you're going to see a lot of talk on the media from things coming out now for the First Strike decks, because obviously they come out in 3 weeks. What I will say is, if anyone is watching this and wants to do something to bring in new players, the proof here is it is a perfect product for that. But it's also a fun thing for existing players to play.
Yeah.
Because I can understand like an existing player spending some time playing an Ira deck, let's put them off. But the Ira deck is important for steps. The First Strike deck is so good. It's such a balanced matchup. We've had lots of people having a blast, switching decks, playing both, having fun, coming back over and being like, I've played those, they're amazing, what's next, and looking through the Blitz deck. So this product's coming soon. I know people don't know a lot about it because it's kind of coming, but trust me, if you're in any sort of store or way where you're trying to grow your community, this deck is vital for what we're doing, and it's going to be something you'll see at all our conventions going forward.
Well, the last question is, if there's another event or convention that wants to possibly host like an event, as an example, I know one that we'll be going to later this year. I don't think they can do it right now, but if they had interest in doing that, I've seen there's a convention support form, I think,
Absolutely,
on there.
yeah.
Can you walk through how that works in case somebody's interested in that?
Absolutely. If you fill out that form, it basically pings me an email to say, hey, someone has filled out this form. And I'll go in, I normally set up a call, set up a meeting, say, hey, tell me more about what you want to do, how we're doing it, and we kind of tailor the offer to what's going on. Like if it's going to be a few tables in a small convention, then absolutely, we'll get Iridex out to you, we'll get some promo cards, we'll support you in that way. If it's something larger, we'll get some tournament kits, we'll add some prizes. The Blaze promo is going to start to become more readily available after Gen Con, so as we roll out through the year, some Blaze promos start to come. Some of the playmats, a Blaze playmat that made its debut here because it was delayed at another show. It was supposed to make its debut in UK Games Expo, but it's made it here.
That was a beautiful playmat.
Yeah, it's a really cool playmat. So we'll start to see those filtering through. The Shift the Tide, which did do that job, is starting to run out. So we'll see the through. So yeah, if you have something going on in your local area, please fill that format. Come straight to me. You'll get an email from me saying, tell me more about it. When can we chat? And unless I'm at a show, obviously, I'm not going to do it at a show. But what I would say, give us as much notice as possible. We've had a few come in where it's like, hey, I've got an event next weekend. I'm like,
that's a little quick.
Like, I'd love to help you, but our logistics, we've got to tie it in with everything else going on around the world.
And you're global. You're not.
Yeah.
Sometimes people don't recognize that you are a global company. You are all over the world,
Absolutely,
and that plays into a lot of that.
Yeah. So I would say ideally 3 months. If you give us 2 months, we can probably make it work, but I can't guarantee it. If you're giving me under a month, it's probably going to be me saying, hey, really sorry, contact me next year. That's probably going to be the response you get. So,
Well, Alex, it has been a blast. So any final words or comments just in general for maybe the viewers at large?
I would just say if you've not ever been to Gen Con and you get an opportunity to, you should come. It's phenomenal. We're so happy and proud to be here. I've got a long list of what I want to do next year. It depends what Gen Con let us do. This will be our kind of capstone event. Everything leads up to this. But we'll be doing a lot of other big conventions, and we'll start shouting about it further in advance as well. So you'll notice now there's actually a separate part of our website for conventions.
Okay, nice.
So we're slowly building that up. There'll be some key ones that basically sit there and go, we're going to be at these every year. Unless they say we can't come.
All right. Well, again, thank you for your time. I greatly appreciate that. So until next time, see you then.